Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Pursuit Live. I'm your producer, Chris. Joining me, as always, your creator and co host, Mr. Dave Hawkins.
What's up, killers? What's going on?
And tonight, I think we got a really good show for you. We got a lot in store tonight. So, as we always say, it pays to watch. Joining us is Mr. Joe Amos, brand partnership manager for Moultrie Mobile. Joe, thanks for taking some time out to sit with us tonight.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here, guys.
So we got a lot to talk about tonight, folks. So if you haven't already, tell your friends, tell them to join because we have some big things planned for this episode. Joe's stopping by. We're going to talk about some new product launches from Moultrie. And in addition to that, Joe, you've got something special for us tonight, right?
I do. I'll let you guys spill it.
All right. So at the end of the show, Moultrie Mobile is doing a very generous giveaway with us tonight. And as we always say, it pays to watch. So please tell your friends, stay tuned, and at the end of the show, we'll give you instructions on how to enter, and we'll get you entered to win some awesome prizes here. So, what do you think, boys? You want to get right into it?
I like that. Keep them hanging. I like that.
There you go.
So, yeah, without a doubt, everybody, if you can, take that time, hit that share button with all your friends. It's really about supporting a brand that a lot of us have seen the value in. We share a lot of the same values as far as the products and just how we approach the outdoors. So, Joe, if you're ready, buddy, me and you're going to kick it off.
Let's go.
All right. So, in the beginning of the show, I always like to talk to the guest and let everybody know kind of who we're talking with. What's like your generic background, like what got you outside, what got you hunting at an early age. And then kind of fast forward, like how did you take all that field experience and put yourself at a position with Moultrie?
Yeah, sure. So, I've been outside my whole life. I grew up in a farming family. So from as early as I could walk, I was on tractors, baling hay out there with my granddad. He got me started out there in our lake, in our personal lake fishing and, brim fishing with cane poles and bass fishing. And then led up to small game and eventually deer hunting. I got bit, is all I can say. Didn't grow up in a huge hunting family, but it's just something that I latched onto, and it's just been really what drives me my entire life. So hunted coming up, and then I was a college athlete, so played ball all through school and college. That kind of took me out of hunting for a number of years, just because that's when hunting is happening, is when you're on the football field. So took a hiatus there, but then back in I was following my early 20s, just really came back to that core passion that drove me. And it's just been what keeps me going every day.
Yeah, without a doubt, especially at that level, any sport or any commitment like that's a full year round commitment on top of it, let alone you're playing during the prime time of the hunting season. So, yeah, like I said, what was really that progression as a hunter? Obviously, you probably did your share of archery hunting, shotgun hunting, all different game. But, were you running trail cameras when you were younger? Is that something that really wasn't as popular as it is now, or it came along later in your hunting journey?
Yeah, I would say it came along late. Like my first bow was one that my granddad whittled out of wood and tied a string to
really?
it. Right? Yeah. But then when cameras came along, I was using Moultrie trail cameras when it was a huge housing, like a shoebox. Yep. It had a camera inside it that took 35 millimeter film. You had to go develop these pictures at Walmart at the 1 hour photo. And you had to hook up a huge 6-volt battery with alligator clips to run the thing. And, you stand at Walmart for an hour waiting to get pictures developed and see 3 raccoons. But it's just that was where it started, and just progressed through digital cameras all the way to where we are today. It's been awesome to see.
Yeah. There's so much talk now. Like you log on to any podcast, you log on to any outdoor page, without a doubt, trail cameras, cell cameras, just one of those topics, because it's an all year round thing. You hear guys talking about they're relying too much on them during the hunting season. You came up in an era where your woodsmanship and your knowledge of the woods and the game, that was your primary source of intel. And then these cameras, because they weren't as advanced as they are now, that was just a backup at that point. You weren't relying on these cameras.
100%. You had to develop woodsmanship skills, and know what the deer are doing, why they're doing it, where the food sources are, where the bedding areas are. All those things you had to figure out with boots on the ground. Now with the progression of where we are today with cameras and cellular technology, it is a useful tool, but you still have to go out there and learn how to be a hunter.
Exactly. All right, so I do want to fast forward a little bit, and let's fast forward that to the point where that you're knocking on the door at Moultrie. Let's say, how did that even start? What was the progression leading up to that phase?
Yeah, so after college, much like a lot of people, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I just knew that I would be passionate about something. So I went into sales, and I worked at a company here in Birmingham for about 15 years after college. Good living, everything's great, but it didn't fulfill that dream or that passion. It was just, it's just how you put food on the table, right? So eventually that company closed its doors, and that thrust me into a position of, well, what do I do now? Well, now is the time to go live the dream. So that's when it's like Pradco Hunting and Moultrie, they're Birmingham-based companies. I always knew they existed. I always used the products, and I was going to knock down somebody's door till I got an answer. So
Nice.
through a lot of things, here we are today.
Right, and you've had quite a journey within Moultrie itself. I met yourself a couple years ago in Pennsylvania at the outdoor show. At the Moultrie booth there in the hallway, and it was such a great encounter. You and the whole team were super friendly. I mean, credit to the whole team. I literally kind of bum rushed. I'm like, hey, I got so many cameras. My wife's with me. You want to do a live real quick? You didn't even hesitate. We ended up cutting a quick little live together, and that was honestly my second purchase with Moultrie. Ever since the first purchase of the Edge cameras, I was hooked, and it was great to meet you then. And it's pretty cool to see where this whole process has led us to.
Joe, I do want to say that first weekend that he met you at Great American Outdoor Show, that he wouldn't shut up about that for like 6 months. That absolutely like made his year. So
no, it was a great time, and definitely great to meet Dave. I think that was 2 years ago in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, at the Great American Show. So it's been a great relationship since then, and great to be here today supporting you guys, and likewise.
Yeah, and you've obviously proven your worth for Moultrie. I know you've had a couple of I'll call it promotions along the way, so congratulations on that. And if anybody doesn't know, you're really the sole creator, let's say, of this field team that's been on fire right now. I don't think you can log on to Instagram or Facebook really without seeing that Moultrie logo. So how do you feel about the team right now?
Yeah, no, everything is going so well. So just to what you were saying, I came into the organization within customer service. So I talk to all of our customers. I talk to 100 people a day solving issues. Eventually led a team in customer service, then moved to the product team to help out there, and then over to the marketing team about a year ago, and been doing the shows. I've been managing those, like where we met Dave, and then just most recently brand partnership. So definitely enjoying it so far, and the field team is really a main focus of that. The team that we've put together so far is just phenomenal. We've got a group of guys and girls on this team that are really out there pushing the message and showing their true passion for the outdoors, and then using that passion also with Moultrie Mobile, using our products and really making sure that everybody has the opportunity to hear about it.
I totally agree. It's kind of cool to hear that you almost started, I would call it base level, customer service. That's probably more towards the bottom of the list as far as like an entry level position. You're at this level now. And I think that kind of speaks to maybe like the core values that Moultrie has as a company. It seems like they truly care about not only their internal personnel, but everybody talks about just even the customer support. If you need them, like that team is there for you. I know a lot of people, myself included. I shared a story with you before we started recording. It's a Saturday afternoon. I was in a jam. I couldn't get one camera to hook up, and half an hour later, I was back in the game. That is so critical for the way we're using these cameras, for what these cameras are meant to do. If the camera's going to not work, chances are it's going to be at the worst time possible. So it's great to have that ability to literally just reach out with a phone call and get it solved in the moment.
Absolutely. And to your point, Dave, that's one reason that it makes it so easy to do what I do. is just the core values of our organization, what we stand for, and what we want to accomplish, which is to give every person out there that wants to take a look at our products and use our products, we want to give them a superior experience that they can't get anywhere else. And customer service really falls in line with that. This team is available 7 days a week. If you're going to have a problem with a piece of equipment, you're probably going to have it on the weekend when you're not at work, right?
Yep.
We've got folks available to solve your issues. And that's just one thing that we're really proud of, is the team that takes care of our consumers.
Awesome. So I think at that point, what I'll do is to all our viewers on Instagram, thank you very much. We got a very solid crowd in attendance right now. Tonight's show is a little bit different. Tonight's show is going to be obviously a little bit more product based as opposed to, let's say, a story with some of our other guests. So in a minute or two, I'm going to pass it over to Chris. He's going to take you guys on to the next part. But instead of holding your questions towards the end like we normally do, if anybody has questions once we start talking about the products, we'll do the best we can to answer them in real time so we don't miss anybody. At the end, if anybody's question got missed, type it in again, and between me and Chris, we'll get everybody covered. I think at that point, Chris and Joe, I'm going to pass it off to you guys.
All right, cool. So, Joe, if you can kind of talk us through, your first few years at Moultrie. I kind of want to hear a little bit about product development and the great strides that Moultrie has made, going from original 35 millimeter cameras to the SD trail cameras that I first started using, which were original Moultrie cameras, to now Moultrie Mobile, the app that is absolutely incredible. Just kind of give us an idea of like the progression and development of this technology.
Sure. So, I mean, I've been using the Moultrie product since way before I had the opportunity and the pleasure to work here. But just since I've been on board, when I came on, we had just kind of really gotten into the cellular technology. We were using field modems that you could attach to your standard SD card camera. And that would allow you to transmit pictures to the app, therefore turning it basically into a cellular camera. Then we came to market with our first integrated camera, integrated cellular camera, meaning it's one unit. You don't need an exterior modem or anything like that. So that was our X7000 series. That really just changed and launched everything for us. The next year we came out with another model very similar. Then a few models after that, and they all used SD cards. We found that not with our camera specifically, but the industry as a whole, the SD card was the biggest failure point for numerous reasons. It could be you didn't buy the right card, or you didn't format it properly, or it just messed up, which things mess up. We identified that as a #1 customer service call, and we said, you know what? Let's just get rid of it. Like, if it's a problem, we don't want our customers to have problems. So that's why we went to the internal memory, starting with the Edge last year. And now there's not even a place to put an SD card in that camera. It's all internal memory. It takes the picture and the video, and it sends it right up to the cloud where you can access it through your app. That's been a major game changer. Also, another thing that I can speak to is the Auto Connect technology, which we also were pioneers in the industry last year with the Edge series. You walked into a big box store and you had cameras hanging on the wall. It said Verizon, some said AT&T. I remember thinking like, oh, I've got an AT&T phone in my pocket, so I guess I need that camera. Not knowing it had nothing to do with that. So it's wherever the camera was is, and where you had the best services, where you needed to make that purchasing decision. So knowing that, and knowing that consumers struggled with it, we said, you know what if we had a camera that just caught any carrier? How easy would that be? You just turn it on and it finds the best signal and it just works. So we brought Auto Connect technology to the game last year. And that, along with the no SD card, has really just changed everything for the industry and for us.
Now, something I really want to talk about, because this is probably my favorite feature that you guys offer out of everything. It's the app itself. Now anybody that's used the app, one of the things that I like about it is it almost entirely replaces Onyx for me. Can you kind of tell me like what went into the development of that app and kind of how you guys approached, picking out what features were a good idea to include, what was something that maybe you thought might have been a good idea that you didn't include, and maybe something, without giving away too many trade secrets, something that you guys are thinking about for maybe the future to improve upon something that is already an incredible product.
Yeah, so I mean, just starting with the maps feature. So overall, the app, there's so many things. Most people go there to look at their pictures and their videos. I get it. That's why you have the camera out there. You want to see those. But when you dive into the Moultrie Mobile app, we have an integrated weather feature. You can get all of your weather there, your hourly, daily forecasts, your wind direction, wind speed, temperature, all that, moon phase, sunrise, sunset times, everything you need to know for hunt planning from a weather perspective is there inside the Moultrie Mobile app. And we also have something called activity charting. So every image and video that comes into your Moultrie Mobile app from your cameras, it carries data with it. So when was that picture taken, time and date? What was the temperature? What was the moon phase? All of these different things. And when it comes into the software automatically categorizes all of those things. So you can look in activity charting and see when animals are moving based on when your pictures are coming in, to help you use that historical data and basically future or predictive analytics to define where and when you need to hunt. So there's that component, but then there's also something brand new that we just brought out called Game Plan. This is a really neat feature. A lot of deer movement apps and tools out there, they're basically theoreticals. Moultrie Mobile has brought an industry first in using image technology that's coming in from cameras. Say, you have your cameras on your property, right? But then you have Moultrie Mobile cameras that are running around you that aren't yours. Well, they're all uploading buck movement data, right? So it's all coming into the Moultrie Mobile system. There's no sharing between, your information and someone else's information, but all of that information together gets uploaded, and it basically graphs out, this is when deer are moving. And again, using that historical data and predictive analytics to tell you this is the right time to hunt. All of that's in the Moultrie Mobile app.
All right, so something else I want to talk about is kind of the targeting feature, where you can actually instead of getting pictures of raccoons, getting pictures of squirrels, getting pictures of birds, you can actually look at specific deer you're looking to target, and how these cameras really pick out, okay, it's not just a buck, it's this specific buck that you want.
Mm-hmm. So I think you're getting into a little bit of the AI technology, and we'll break all that down. So each image that comes into the app, it's going to define whether it's a buck, it's a doe, it's a coyote, bear, whatever it is. It's going to put that into those buckets for you. You can also do something called custom tags. So you can, if you've got a certain buck that you're tracking, and we like to name deer, right? So if it's Wicked or Drop Tine or whatever it is, once you start getting that buck on camera, you can assign a tag to that buck, and then each picture of that buck that comes in, you can custom tag it. Then you could go into activity charting and see when that buck is moving.
I had a note written down specifically for the app real quick, Chris. I just want to mention it. When I think of that Moultrie app that we have available to us now, I think of that new hunter or that first year hunter where he's got he's got everything in one stop right now. Without dropping other names, let's say that new hunter buys a Moultrie camera. He now has he or she has the Moultrie app. They don't need another mapping software. They don't need technically another weather software or a deer predictability. And we know the apps that are out there, but yeah, I think of that new hunter. He's already overwhelmed with all the gear he's got to buy. He's got the one-stop shop already built into the camera that he just bought. So the simplicity, sometimes simplicity really outweighs some of the other factors, and that's what I really like about it. On top of that, the mapping feature is crystal clear. Again, I'm not going to name drop, but it is amazing how far you can zoom in. It's legit. I'll put it that way.
Now we had a question, Joe, come in. Now, will this predictive technology and the tagging features work with black bears as well?
So we're talking about the activity charting?
No, the actual where you could pick out your target animals.
Bear is one of those.
Okay, there you go. You heard it there, Rob. It's ready to go, because we'll be launching bear cameras here very soon. and we've got a few monsters, so we want to keep tabs on those guys. But getting forward a little bit now, I do want to talk about one thing here.
I do want
to go ahead.
I do want to back up and say on the when we're talking about the AI technology on the cameras, we'll get there, but Bears is not one of those that you can specifically carve out. We'll get to the AI technology and how that's available to you, but let's just move forward. I just wanted to clarify that one point.
All right. So I guess it's no secret that Dave and I are part of the field team here at Moultrie Mobile. So I do want to kind of dive into this before we bore everybody with the technological specific stuff. So why don't we kind of dive into where Moultrie kind of had the idea that hey, we want to launch a field staff, and since that's come to market and in a short amount of time absolutely exploded. Why don't you kind of walk us through that?
So, we really feel like we have something special, and that's not being boastful in any way. We've got a lot of very intelligent people that have worked extremely hard to bring something to market, to take care of our users, and to really give the best experience. And we feel like we've hit on something special. And right now we feel like it's time to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to hear about it, right? So it's really just it's that grassroots. We want to be a part of the conversation. We want to have an opportunity to be in your tool belt when it comes to hunting. If you're having a conversation around hunting, we want Moultrie to be a part of that conversation.
Okay. Now I'm going to hit you with another technological question real quick, and I don't have the answer for this. Now, if I were to take these cellular cameras to another continent, specifically Africa, if they were to, do they work on a 3G network or in a place with less than 5G service?
You have to be in the continental United States. We do have a Canada model that does work in Canada, but it's limited to that at this point.
Okay. Now, is there a way to use the Edge Pro cameras without a cellular feature?
There is not. So that is the one thing, is because you don't have an SD card, everything has to transition through the Moultrie Mobile system and upload to the cloud, therefore on your app. So there has to be that cellular plan associated with each camera because there's not that external memory where you can pull it out. But that really, the trade-off there, it's almost not even worth the conversation, because with the built-in memory, it's so bulletproof that you almost just, that's what you need to make these things extremely reliable and work for you the way you want them to.
I'm getting on the phone with corporate after this, and we're getting an Africa model in development post haste.
Anyway, we did have one productive question come up in the comments. What is the easiest way to join the field team, or how do you go about the process to get that started, since we're on that topic?
So you can go to the Moultrie Mobile website, and the URL is moultriemobile.com/field team. But if you go to the Moultrie Mobile website and look in the footer down at the bottom of the page, there is a link for field team. Once you go on that page, there's a place for you to go in and apply.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, so I kind of want to dive into a couple other things now. Now, besides cameras, Moultrie has made a name for themselves in feeders as well. Do you want to talk a little bit about the progression from original gravity feeders to where Moultrie is now? And I know this may be a foreign concept to some of our viewers. Dave and I, where we live, we're not allowed to feed. I know a number of our viewers can't, but there are quite a few people across the country that do watch the show that are able to feed. So this may be something interesting to them. So I'd like to kind of dive into the feeders a little bit for a minute, if you don't mind.
Sure, Chris. So yeah, Moultrie is known for their feeders. Always has been. So we have, great feeders that are, they're gravity feeders. You just pour your feed in, it comes out naturally by gravity. And then we have your line of spin cast feeders, right? That, you set your times on the feeder, you fill it up, you have your battery and your motor, and it's going to spin out your corn or feed whatever you're feeding. But as we're talking about new products tonight, we've got something that we're dropping that is just industry changing when it comes to feeders. We have something called Feed Hub. We just put out a little bit of a teaser on it last week, but we're going full force to market on the 9th next week. Feed Hub, guys. This is a system that it's a 2-part system that allows you to set your feed times, your duration, all that from the Moultrie Mobile app on your smartphone. So right where you see all your pictures, you go to another point, select feeders, and then you can change all your feed times. The other part is a module that goes on the underside of the lid. This shoots a laser level and it will tell you how much feed is in your hopper. So all of that telemetry, you know how much feed is in your feeder, you know what your battery levels are. You can change and update on the fly all of your times. And then from anywhere, you can actually hit a button in the app and feed on demand. That could be from your couch. That could be from you're in the stand and you're in a state that allows hunting over feed. You just pull out your phone and hit feed on demand. When they hear that dinner bell, you know, it's feed time.
Now, that's really like a groundbreaking thing in feeding, and I'm not an expert by any means on feeding because we can't do it. However, in my limited knowledge, this is a first of its kind in the industry, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
It is. Moultrie is the first company to bring to market a full system that will allow you to monitor your feed and then also operate your feeder and update all of your time. So really, what this allows you to do is know when you need to go to your feeder. You know when it's time to go refill it. You know when it's time to go put a new battery in it. You don't have to. It takes all the guesswork out of it for you. And then one really cool thing is, you know, when you're running a feeder, you kind of hope everything's okay. Like you might have a camera on it and you say, well, wildlife is there on a regular basis, so it must be working, but that's really about the best you can do. This will actually tell you if you have a clog or a jam or if something with the feeder is not running right. So you know then that you need to go visit the feeder and do something to it. So it's just game changing with the type of telemetry and the technology. It's basically taking the power and convenience of cellular camera technology and throwing it in the feeder for you.
Now, does the Feed Hub automatically connect to the strongest available network, just like the cameras, or is that a specific to,
No.
Verizon or T-Mobile, whatever it is?
It also encompasses the auto connect technology, so it's going to grab the strongest carrier wherever that unit is.
That's huge.
Yeah. I'm curious about the power supply for this. We're probably integrating some of the Moultrie solar panels at this point. Would that be recommended?
You definitely could. You know, our solar panels are universal. The ones that we came out with last year, those are 6 volt and 12 volt. So you could run your 6 volt or 12 volt feeder off of it. From the internal power, the feed level detector that goes in the lid that actually tells you how much feed is in the hopper, that runs on 4 AA batteries. Okay. And then the cellular component, which actually goes in the motor, that runs off of your motor battery. So be that a 12 volt or a 6 volt battery, it just hooks into that power supply.
Gotcha. So really not anything crazy. It's not like you need a huge power supply to get these feeders going. It's very minimal at that point.
Absolutely.
Nice. Right. That is, again, to my minimal knowledge as feeders, it's amazing. Just the fact how connected you are to your equipment now, no matter how far away you are, that speaks volumes.
Right. And
just simply saving on the cost of gas or that extra trip if you didn't need to. That's simple things like that. Again, simplicity is what makes a product so good.
And the fact that you can see everything in the same app where you see all of your pictures. It's a one-stop shop.
That's what I was saying. It really is. It's like the Walmart, man. It's like the Walmart of cameras and feeders. You can do everything.
More like Target, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. I figured Walmart would hit home for a lot of people.
So I kind of want to stay on this track with the solar panels and the interchangeability here, because the Moultrie Mobile cameras, the Edge and the Edge Pro, they're not just regular battery cameras. They do have the rechargeable batteries. They do have the solar panels, and you can kind of configure these cameras to your individual needs. And if you could talk about the interoperability of these different, accessories, and just kind of give everybody a broad idea of just how adaptable these cameras are to an individual hunter's or land manager's needs.
Absolutely. So just talking about the cameras themselves of the Edge series, when you pull those out of the box, they have a AA tray. you have two options right there. You can run the camera on 8 batteries if you fill one side of the battery tray. If you flip that over, you can double the capacity and put 16 batteries in it. So it'll run on 8 or 16. So you've got that flexibility there. But let's get outside of batteries because we're all tired of buying batteries and the price is just ridiculous. We have brought to market accessories to help you power your equipment. We have the Edge rechargeable batteries. These things are awesome. I know Dave has had some. You know, you charge these up at home. You basically take out the AA tray, you pop in the rechargeable battery, and you're good to go. They're going to run longer than 16 AA batteries. They're going to hold up better in the cold weather, and they're reasonably priced. So, I mean, you can find them for different price points depending on where you're shopping. But, you know, you recharge one battery a time or two, you've paid for the battery itself, and you've still got a ton of life because they're rated for, you know, like over 1,000 charge cycles. So, yeah, it's just it's a no-brainer when you get into running these cameras. The power accessories, especially with the rechargeable battery, it's almost a have to. It's just, it makes sense. But then outside of the rechargeable battery, you know, if you want to get into a situation where you're working with unlimited power, you go to a solar panel at that point. These panels, you can charge them up before you deploy them in the field because they have an onboard lithium battery that the solar energy is charging. So these panels are so efficient. As long as you're getting about an hour of direct sunlight a day, you're getting enough power juiced up into that power pack that's attached to the panel to operate the camera for weeks, even if no sun is hitting that panel on average daily usage.
On 1 hour of sunlight.
Yep.
Wow.
That's a game changer. Wow.
I didn't know it was that low. I knew it was low. I didn't know it was 1 hour.
Yeah.
So 1 hour is the time that you need to recharge from about a day's use of average daily use. But if you have this thing fully powered and you didn't have any sun hitting that panel for weeks, it's got enough power to run that camera.
Huh. Hope you guys are listening on Instagram.
Listen, bear season is like our bear camera game is just completely changed. Because now, instead of going out and swapping batteries, now we set the cameras and that's it. We can leave them. We don't have to touch the cameras.
I have a camera and solar panel set up that I have at one of the places on my property. I have not seen this set. I have not physically been to it in over a year and a half. I can pull up my app right now and show you that it's 100% and get pictures every day.
Now we're talking. Now I have nothing to add to that. Now we're talking.
No. I think the only thing to add to that, we're roughly about halfway through the show on average. Why don't we let the viewers know what they're in for tonight since they tuned in?
All right. So as we kind of talked about in the comments here, if you haven't already, share this with your friends, invite them over, because at the end of the show, Moultrie Mobile has generously decided to do a giveaway with some products that we've talked about here tonight that are not even on the market yet. So this is really, you know, as Dave always likes to say, it really pays to watch, and this is definitely one of those times. So Joe, if you want to talk about what you have in store for everybody, why don't you kind of go into the products a little bit?
Yeah, 100%. And honestly, guys, I'm surprised we haven't even touched on the new cameras yet.
It's coming.
We're getting there.
It's coming.
So, but to answer your question, you know, for a couple of lucky winners tonight, we're going to have a feed hub system that you have the opportunity to win, and then also an Edge 2, the Gen 2 of the Edge. You're going to have the opportunity to win that, and for each winner, I'm going to throw you a nice hat like what I'm wearing.
Nice.
There you go. Some exclusive gear, not even on the market yet. So stay tuned. At the end of the show, we will be holding this giveaway. So if you haven't already, tell your friends, tell them to join, because there is still time.
Let them know how to enter, Chris.
All right. Well, that's at the end of the show, Dave.
Oh, you're doing it that way.
Relax.
Oh, okay.
All
right. Well, you guys got to tune in now. You got to watch.
You guys are rushing the show here. We're 35 minutes in. All right. Thanks for joining, everybody. This was a great show. Let's roll the credits.
No. It's a perfect It's a perfect segue to we want to dive into the camera platforms without a doubt.
Yes. Now we want to talk about the new cameras. Let's hear it. Let's talk about some new features. Just lay it on us, top to bottom.
Sure thing. So, you know, we kind of lightly touched on what Moultrie did last year to really change the game with two very strong features, the auto connect technology and the built-in memory, so you no longer need an SD card. We're already doing it. Why reinvent the wheel? It's already working. Folks love it. So really what we did is we built on that same chassis and just built on that platform to give you better features and enhanced specs. So, the Edge, we had the original Edge last year and then the Edge Pro. We can talk about the differences between the two. So both had the auto connect. They also both had the built-in memory. What the Pro brought to us was the live aim technology. So you can Bluetooth into the camera via your smartphone. And while you're setting up the camera, you can see a live feed of what the camera is seeing on your phone. So you can get that perfect angle, right? No more guesswork of like, I left it out in the field. Now I'm an hour away and it's too low or it's too high or whatever. You can get that perfect shot. What Edge Pro also brought was some AI technology built into the hardware. And we did that in two ways. The first one is smart capture. This is where I think, Chris, you were trying to get to a little bit ago. You can tell the camera what you want to see, right? So if you only want to see pictures of bucks or deer, you can say that in the app. You can select, I only want to see deer. What happens is when something triggers that camera for a photo or a video, the camera will actually analyze in the field what was in that picture. If it's what you said you want to see, then it's going to send it up to you. But if it's a raccoon and you didn't say you wanted to see raccoons, it's never even going to send that picture to you, and it's not going to waste that battery life sending it, and it's going to keep that gallery nice and clean, so you're only seeing what you want to see. Yes. The other AI feature is smart, or we call it smart zones, but basically it's detection zones within the field of view. So we've all had the situation where we put out cameras, grass grows up, it's waving, it's triggering the camera because that's how they're designed to work. Or a storm comes through and a limb comes down in the corner of the frame, that tree limb is waving and it's just triggering that camera away. We combat that now with smart zones. If that's happening to you, you can go in and basically look at your picture on a grid, whatever's causing that camera to trigger, you can selectively turn off those zones. So now no longer anything in that zone will trigger the camera. However, if you've still got wildlife coming through, it's still going to capture it for you. So all that is the 2023. All that was brought to the market last year. Looking ahead now here in 2024 with the Gen 2 models. The Edge, we boast a 36 megapixel image, which is awesome. 1080p with HD sound for the video, right? And then it's got a lightning fast trigger speed. So 0.4 seconds on the trigger speed. It's got a 100-foot range for detection and IR flash. And then we also brought, in addition to the awesome features that the originally Edge already had, we brought video and photo on demand. So now we have the opportunity to go to your app. You're just curious what's in front of your camera. Maybe you're walking in and you don't want to blow that target buck out. Whatever, or maybe you're just curious, or maybe you get a picture and you can see there's some other deer in the background. You want to kind of get a live feed of what's going on. You can actually remote in and request a video on demand, and it'll take it and send it right to you.
I like that also, in case you got a couple of things that were still pending, like you don't have to wait for that camera to check in now. Like
anytime that you request an on-demand, anything that the camera has in the queue, if you don't have it set on immediate, anything that's in the queue, it's going to go ahead and send it to you.
Yeah. No, it's very versatile, that on-demand feature, without a doubt.
Yeah. And then, so kind of moving on up to the Edge 2 Pro. So the Gen 2 model of the Pro that we already talked about still has all the things we talked about, still has the auto connect, still has the built-in memory. This one also has the live aim like the original Edge did, so you can remote in from your phone while you're setting up the camera. This also has the photo and video on demand. All right. This also has integrated GPS. There's one for you. So it'll automatically pin itself to the map section of the Moultrie Mobile app. And one other feature that's kind of cool is called tamper detection. So the camera is smart enough to know what its field of view is and what it's been taking pictures of. If something knocks that camera, or it gets moved around erratically, the app is going to notify you that something may have tampered with your camera and you may need to check it out.
So we did have an interesting question, and I kind of want to ask this. When are you guys going to attach a turret to the bottom of this thing so we could just hunt from the couch?
That's been brought up on more than one occasion. You still got to go hunt.
Well, I mean, you're going to have to go hunt. You're going to have to go retrieve it. You're still going to have to go gut the thing. But
I I did have a question for you, Joe. What was the driving factor for the transition from what was the term, a low glow to a no glow now with the Edge 2 Pro?
What was the driving factor? It's just a little bit more premium option, and it gives you that peace of mind that with this no glow, it's not going to affect wildlife at all, and it's barely even visible to the human eye at a very extreme angle. So it's just a way to be confident that your trail camera is not causing something that's going to deter that wildlife from the area.
No, I like that without a doubt. And field of view, just to touch on that, 50 degrees on both models. That's pretty wide. That's pretty awesome to have that.
That's pretty strong, absolutely. And then on the
questions on Instagram, while we're talking heavy on the cameras before we keep going, if anybody's got questions, that would be a good time for that as well.
I did want to chime in with the boasted features and specs for the Edge 2 Pro. We kind of talked through it with the Edge 2. So on the Edge 2 Pro, we're talking 40 megapixel images. Come on, guys. 40 megapixels. And then on the video, check this out. It's 1440p. Like, that's wild. 1440p on the video with HD audio. This one comes in the Edge 2, the more base model, if you want to call it that, is 0.4 seconds on the trigger speed. The Pro is 0.3. So it just keeps getting quicker. And it's still out at that 100-foot detection in the flash range.
So we had a quick question. When are you guys dropping the Edge 2 Pro?
Okay, so the Edge 2 series, both of them, they'll be available July 16th.
Unless you're a winner tonight.
Unless you're a winner tonight.
Sure.
You may not get it before July 16th, but it'll be on the way.
All right. Now we'll get into some tough questions. All right, number one. What are 3 things that you personally have to carry on you every time you go in the woods?
That's a good question. Are we excluding weapons?
Yes, weapons, licenses, that's all a given.
Come on. It's going to be easy.
You don't need those stinking badges.
Well, first of all, a Moultrie Mobile cell cam. Like, come on.
I guess that goes without saying.
So 3 things that I have to have with me. I would say my binos. That's a given. Generally a rangefinder. Probably a pistol.
Okay.
I don't know if you, like that's not the hunting weapon. It's more the protection weapon.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Okay.
I know you're kind of a gear junkie, Chris. I know where you're going.
Listen, everybody. When I first answered that question, everybody ripped on me because it's super low tech. It's a compass, a fixed blade knife, and a way to make fire, like a ferro rod. Like, no matter where I'm going, I'm carrying those 3, no matter what. And it's super low tech, and everybody's like, "What the hell, Mr. Swarovski and Sitka? Like, this is it." But yeah. So, all right. So I know more. With the team and the team there at corporate, you guys have a couple of events that you guys are going to be coming up to in the very near future. I don't know if you want to touch on that and kind of let everybody know where you're going to be in the in at least in the Northeast in the near future.
Sure thing. Yeah. So we're going to be up there near you guys. I will be at Huntstock, which is going to be in New York. That's going to happen on July the 19th through the 21st.
Yep.
That's going to be an awesome event. My buddy Pat Guyett that runs that, he's putting on some great stuff. So we'll be there representing. And then a few weeks later, on I believe it's August the 8th, we'll be at Huntstock in Massachusetts. We did that event last year. It was really great for us. We made a lot of connections, made some great friends out of that event. So we're really looking forward to going back and seeing some familiar faces, and then also running into a whole bunch of new folks that want to talk to us about cell cams.
So there you have it, folks. If you're going to be in the area, especially in New York and Massachusetts, come on out and get a firsthand look at these things, and you will not be disappointed at all.
I want to touch on that real quick as far as like the trade shows and everything like that. Chris and I and Rob, our other partner, we kind of got a small taste of what it was like to actually run a booth for multiple days. And I tip my hat to anybody now that runs a Great American Outdoor booth, a TAC booth. it seems fun and all this other stuff, and it is. But I tell you what, we left there at the end of every day exhausted. Like it is a long day, especially
Yeah.
Great American. And what is that, 7 or 8 days? So I mean,
Oh, it's not.
how
It's
do you
9
get
days.
accustomed to that just from doing it over the years?
Yeah, I mean, it comes with it, man. And I'll say that. So I'm actually coming out of that. I'm still going to be at tons of events, so you're still going to see me everywhere. But I'm kind of coming out of that role of leading all of those events, and we do a bunch. But I got to say, like, I'm just super passionate about what we do and our brand, and it comes so naturally and easy for me. I mean, a 12 to 14 hour day on your feet talking about this, it is taxing. It can be very tiresome, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of joy and fulfillment that you get when you're around like-minded people that are really genuinely curious about your product. And then also the hundreds and hundreds of people that come up to me on a weekly basis and say, I just love your customer service. I love your products. Like there's so much positive reinforcement. Like it almost just energizes you from week to week, being on the roads and meeting all these people. Yeah, it's an awesome experience.
Nice. I did have one other question, and it may be a little tough to answer, but I was curious. What's one product from Moultrie that maybe you're the most proud to represent? I know it may be hard to answer, but if you had to pick one, which is like that one that's just like, man, that is something I'm proud to be behind that.
Yeah, you're putting me on the spot. I mean, all of it. I mean, there's not one thing that I'm not proud of, but
Okay.
I would say like the app. If
Okay.
Your experience with the hardware, like when you buy a camera and you buy a feeder, whatever you buy, you set that piece of equipment up and then you leave it. All of your experience is right here. So
True.
we have a phenomenal team of software folks and engineers, a ton of people that is their life, is working on this app and making it the best one in the industry. And I'm super proud to represent those folks that do all the hard work that put this out. And it's just, when you think about all the technology and all the features that you get along with your images and videos coming in from the field, it's something super easy to talk about. And I just don't think anybody can touch it.
I just want to reference something real quick. Who did you say is behind the scenes working on this?
Oh, tons of very intelligent people, way smarter than me.
There's a running joke, and it's, as an engineer on the civil side, our program manager Rob always rips on me for it. So anytime that engineers are involved in anything, I like to kind of throw that back in his face. So I hope you heard that one, Rob.
You never miss it. The minute that word comes up, you never miss it. It's unreal. Unreal. All right. I do have it anyway.
All jokes aside, without those people and those teams that make it happen behind the scenes, we don't get to talk about what we're talking about. So kudos to them, the entire team, Absolutely. The entire organization. They really do wonders to allow us to have the opportunity to have these conversations.
Yeah. Absolutely. So shut up, Rob.
We do have a question from the Instagram Live. This is interesting. Is there talks from Moultrie about a 360-degree view camera?
I cannot comment on that right now.
Not a problem.
Nice.
Fair enough.
I will say always stay tuned, because at the end of the day, guys, and for the viewers out there, we're never going to stop innovating. You made the joke about the turret and that's a joke, but really, what's the next thing?
So what you're saying is you already have one of those in the lab.
All I'm saying is there's a roadmap where we're looking years into the future. There are things that we can't even have a conversation about right now that are super exciting that will be coming. So I always say, when I can't answer a question, I always say, stay tuned. You're going to be blown away.
Awesome.
All right. So how long do we have to wait for this turret? That's all I want to know. We're talking 5 years, 10 years. I'm not getting any younger, so if I can sit there and shoot deer from my couch, I'd love that in my retirement years.
You might want to check with your local authorities and see how that thing works.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We'll have a hard enough time getting a feeder to New York, let alone the other option.
Oh, God.
Chris, did I miss anything in the comments as far as questions? I'm looking now. I think
no, we did have and this kind of, I guess, would go more into what you've already said. Is there any plans on or something that you're working on to maybe make the camera smaller or anything like that? That was a question, and I imagine that's also trade secret, and we can't answer it.
Yeah, I mean, I think from a industrial design perspective, you already know that term, Chris. From that, it's it's always going to be what makes the most sense, right? From a size perspective. I mean, if you looked at the cameras we had 3-4 years ago, these things are like half the size now. So, are they going to get smaller? Maybe. What's the next thing, right? That we're going to want to integrate the camera that's going to need space. Maybe we can't answer those questions, but yeah, I would say stay tuned.
I've got a completely one-off question, and it just came to me. Have you had any commercial companies or businesses use this actually as like a security system, either for their buildings or properties, with all the options available?
Yeah, 100%, Dave. So, I mean, there are so many, and I'm glad you actually brought that up. There are so many people, just individuals out there, and also organizations that use our cameras for things other than hunting. I've seen a lot of people using our camera in their business for doing like wildlife control and trapping and things like, when you might have an infestation of some critter in your attic. These businesses are using the cameras to see what's going on up there and to monitor their traps. That's one aspect. But then also from a security, we have a lot of police departments, a lot of different organizations that use our equipment for things other than hunting, and that's awesome too.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally set up for it. It's a short of the alarm going off. I mean, you got everything right at your fingertips. It really is that one-stop shop for everything you need. So,
well, this is a quick point. I want to ask on this. One of our viewers said he would use it as a security camera for his construction sites, and said it would be nice if they came in orange. Is this something an idea that's maybe been batted around, changing the case color from something that's more of an earth tone to maybe something that's more high vis?
I can't necessarily speak directly to that. There are some things in the works that I'll just kind of let naturally come out over time. There's always a way to flag your camera with whatever color you want to, I guess. It's your camera. You can do with it what you want if you need it a little bit more high vis.
Can of Krylon does wonders. All right, so we are getting on to that time. So before we get to that, I do want to take a moment, Joe, if you could just tell everybody where they can purchase Moultrie mobile cameras. Tell everybody where they can access Moultrie mobile content, and if they want to join the field team, plug that one more time where everybody can find that.
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me. All of my socials are Amos_outdoors. I'm no influencer or anything like that. I just I put out there what I enjoy and what I like, but from a Moultrie perspective, it's Moultrie Mobile on all platforms, Moultrie Mobile and Moultrie Products. And that would be on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and then on TikTok, we're Moultrie.mobile.
There you go. If you're not already, head over to those after the show and smash that follow button. You won't be disappointed. I mean, listen, the Moultrie Mobile Instagram, there's a lot of good content on there. If you like seeing bucks in the wild, you like seeing wildlife, it's definitely a good page to just go and kind of see what's out there. So I highly recommend. With that, I guess, guys, you want to launch this? You guys ready for this?
Let's do it.
All right, Joe, if you could one more time, tell everybody what they're in for with this.
2 lucky winners. One is going to get a Edge 2. And the other is going to get a Feed Hub Universal Kit. So if you've got a feeder, it doesn't even have to be a Moultrie brand. But if you win this, and if you've got a spin cast feeder, you're going to get the opportunity to win a Feed Hub system. And each one of those winners is going to get an awesome Richardson 112 leather patch Moultrie Bracket M hat.
Well, there you go. And I don't know what your schedule is tonight, Joe, but maybe after we get all the entries in, maybe we'll come back on live and pick the winners.
No doubt, we can make it happen.
What do you guys think about that? We'll take a little bit of a break. We'll get everybody entered, and then we'll come back and do the entries a little bit later tonight. So with that, if you're on the live right now and you're watching, it doesn't matter what platform you're on. Take a screenshot of this live right now and message Only Bows Official with that screenshot. If you do that right now, we'll give you till 9:30 tonight. So you got 35 minutes. Screenshot the live right now. Send it to Only Bows Official. At 9:30, we'll get everybody logged in, entered, and shortly after that, we'll come back on live and we'll pick 2 winners. How's that sound, guys?
I don't think it gets faster than that.
So now's the time. Take your screenshots and send them to us, and we'll make this happen tonight. You know, as Dave always likes to say, it pays to watch.
Eventually, they'll listen to me. I mean, I don't know how many times I can hint it.
Well, listen, I mean,
people start
out of all the advice Dave gives, you know, that might be one you want to listen to. You know,
fair enough.
Climbing telephone poles, maybe not for everybody.
I'm going to schwack something out of that telephone pole to put an end to that.
You have to at this point.
I will. And then I'm going to cut it down and bring it home.
So, all right, we do have.
Sorry, Chris. Before we jump off, I was going to let everybody know if you're interested in possibly being a part of what we're doing here at Moultrie and representing our team, you can go to the field team page on the Moultrie Mobile website and apply there. Definitely love to have a conversation with you and see if it's the right fit. But if you're definitely looking to get hooked in with a superior brand and have a great time doing it with a lot of camaraderie and fellowship, come on.
Absolutely. Committed. We're looking for that committed personnel like that. That's like, again, we kind of talked on earlier, sharing those core values. You know, you guys share it at Moultrie. Chris and I and our team, we all share the same values, and everybody that's tunes in regularly, that's what it's about, building that positive image. Because if we don't have our own backs, where the other side's going to make it'll be too easy for them. So that's all I got to say about that. Everything we do is being watched, and we just got to do it the right way.
That's it. So one more time, take your screenshots now. Send them to Only Bows Official on Instagram, or some of you that have my number, I can see are already texting me your screenshots. So do that now. About 9:30, we'll come back on live real quick, and we'll pick 2 winners for these awesome products. With that, Joe, I definitely want to take a moment and say thank you for taking the time out to join us tonight. I know we've kind of been working on this for a little while, and we finally were able to make it happen. So, you know, just thank you for taking the time. Thank you for for giving Dave and I the opportunity with the field team, and we're really looking forward to making Moultrie Mobile the number 1 brand for trail cameras.
For sure. Well, thanks for having me on. Really appreciated it. It's been a great time, and then also thanks for being on the team. Really appreciate what you guys are doing, and looking forward to growing that with you and growing our team. So anytime I can help you guys out, don't be a stranger.
Well, you could start by mounting thermals and a turret on the camera. You know, that would be a great help. We'll start with that.
Got it.
So with that, everybody, thank you for tuning in tonight. Again, you can catch us every Friday at our new time slot, 8 p.m. If you're not already, head over to YouTube, smash that subscribe button. If you're not following Pursuit Live Official on Instagram, head over to there, smash that follow button. And as always, please head over to Moultrie Mobile and Amos_outdoors. Smash the follow button. You won't be disappointed. We will see you all in about 31 minutes. We'll jump back on. We'll pick the winners here. Thank you all for watching. Again, Joe, thank you for taking the time out tonight. And we'll see everybody next week.